In this video, I want to discuss the idea of having access to the attributes as well as the methods that are inside a class and an object. You will see in this example the attributes surname, name, student number and age have been declared inside class student. On the right hand side we've declared object B, and then we try to refer to b.surname, but it gives an error saying it's inaccessible due to its protection level. We need to address this problem in this video. The issue is to whether an attribute, and in some cases then a method, is private or public. The way we've declared the four attributes in class student makes them private by default. Private means the following. You can use those attributes or refer to them within the class. So any methods inside class student can use those attributes that have been declared at the top. The other way of looking at it is since they've been declared at the top, they are global within that class. So they can be used anywhere inside the class as well as methods inside the class. But on the right hand side, when we refer to an object, we kind of say we're now outside of the class. We're now in the main method, and because these attributes are private, we cannot say b.surname. The way to solve this is to make an attribute public. You'll see on the left hand side we've put the word public before string surname. Everything still stays the same within the class. We can still refer to that attribute inside the class, but now what has changed on the right hand side, when we're in the main method or outside the object or the class, we can now say b.surname. It's legal because surname is now a public attribute. That means we can access it from the outside. This same concept applies to methods inside a class. We've discussed the constructor, and you'll see that the constructor starts off with the word public, which means that method, the constructor, is available publicly. So in the main program on the right hand side, when we declare B, you remember we call student with the four parameters, so we're calling that method from the outside of the class. Notice what would happen if we do not make student public, but we take away the word public. Remember, now it's by default a private method. And if you look at the main method where we're trying to declare B, it suddenly does not allow you to say student and the four parameters. You cannot call that method now within the declaration because it's now a private method. There are, however, some protocol regarding whether things are private or public. The general rule is that the attributes of a class should generally not be public. This is called data protection. So we don't want the attributes just to be changed from the outside without some protection. So we always make our attributes private, and they default private by default. You could, if you want to make dead sure and just show that you know what you're doing, you could put the word private in front of each of the declarations. But it means the same as if you don't have it, because it's private by default. So if we say that the attributes need to be private, the problem now is how do we access them? How do we change them? How do we use them? You'll notice at the bottom that if they're private, you can't say b.age is 23, and you can't say console writeline b.surname. So in the rest of the slides we will address this. So the way to access a private attribute is now by declaring what we call set and get methods. Notice the set surname method takes as input a surname, and then it changes the attribute this.surname to that surname. So this method is used to change the attribute surname. The get surname method is used to return the surname of the attribute. So in this case it says return surname, which means it returns the attribute. So now when we are on the outside of the class, in this case inside the main method, we can say b.set surname Davids, and we can say console write line b.get surname. So set surname will change the surname to Davids, and get surname will then display the surname Davids within the write line statement.